Let's bring in the NSA Director, retired General Keith Alexander, who's been watching all of this with the rest of us. And I want to focus, if you don't mind, General, on the issue of cybersecurity. Now, we had, again, this is coming from Vladimir Putin. He's putting the best face as he can on all of this, using his past history as a KGB agent to kind of throw a little disinformation there. But he said there was no hostility at the meeting. There was a desire to understand each other on cybersecurity. Earlier, by the way, in a interview he had a couple of days ago, he claimed that his government, and he in particular, had no connection whatsoever with all of the hack attacks that have been emanating from Russia. You talk about election interference, the solar winds cyber attack, and of course the Colonial Pipeline. Do you believe that the Russian government had nothing to do with those hacks?
Well, clearly the solar winds they were involved in, they led that. That was the SVR. I think that's clear. You know, it's interesting you bring out the disinformation. Remember, it's the same thing he did in Crimea. The little green men are not ours, are not ours, are not ours. Now that we've got Crimea, oh, there are Spetsnaz. So that disinformation, and to the world press and to the American people, is a way of him trying to obfuscate what's going on. I don't believe for a minute that these hacker groups are existing in Russia without some level of government knowledge, probably all the way to Putin. That's my belief.
You know, you're not alone at all on that. A lot of intel folks, either current or retired, feel the same way. General Jack Keane, who I'm sure you know, was on Fox News a couple of days ago. Here's what he said about how we should respond to these cyber attacks, particularly because the intel community does believe that Russian government is involved. Roll tape.
Cyber warfare using as an instrument of national power to undermine the American democracy. He is doing that every single day. We have got to put that at his doorstep, and we have got to tell him that every time he does it, we will counterattack using our cyber attack force against the infrastructure from where the cyber infrastructure from where that attack was launched.
Should we be counterattacking, General?
Well, so this is some of the elements of national power that the administration has. What do they take on and how do they do it? The administration needs to look at it and say, what do I want to do overtly and clandestinely? And then give those rules of engagement to the Commander, U.S. Cyber Command, and to the intelligence community to conduct those. When you set a red line, though, you have to be prepared to go to that red line and take actions against it. So I think in this case, pushing back is absolutely merited. I agree with General Keane with respect to it's an element of national power, and they are using it. They've used it in Estonia, they used it in Georgia, they used it in Ukraine, and they used it against us. We need to figure out how we're going to respond. I think before we get into it, we need to step back and say, what are we doing to defend our country?
Yeah.
Because if it's out of hand, we have more to lose. So fix the defense and push back.
But the Cyber Command, a U.S. Cyber Command, already has said that they have done counterattacks in 2018 and 2020 against their election interference. There were cyber attacks. Again, whether they were effective, we don't know. But it's interesting that Cyber Command usually keeps this information secret. It went public with it just to send a message, I think, not only to the American people, but to the Russians, that we have been involved in counterattacks already.
And that we can do that.
Yeah. And how much further should we go? I mean, if I'm surprised, or did we actually involve ourselves in a counterattack with the Colonial Pipeline hack?
Yeah, of that I don't know. I suspect that the government was involved in at least helping to get the monies back. You saw that with the FBI going after them. I think we have to be prepared to go after these ransomware attackers and make them pay a price. So I think what the FBI has done and what we're doing in that is a way to do it. It doesn't directly go against Russia, even though they're probably aiding and abetting these guys, but go after them, make them pay a price, make this hard for them to do. Today, it's too easy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. I'm sorry, finish your point.
No, that's what we have to stop. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah. Very quickly, because we have a congressman waiting in the wings after you, I just want to ask about Russia's sphere of influence. Clearly, Vladimir Putin wants to go back to something resembling the Soviet Union sphere of influence, particularly on the Ukraine. He talked a little bit about that. What should we do to force them to keep in their current sphere instead of going in further than they already have into the Ukraine?
I think that's the issue. The Donbas region of eastern Ukraine is the issue, and the one that Russia's looking at, that we know President Putin wants to go after. We have to stop that.
All right.
And this is that's going to come after. I think it's important for our country and for Eastern Europe to be on guard for that.
Absolutely. General Keith Alexander, pleasure to have you here, sir. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.